Guild Governor. And it is an honor and privilege to be able to host you and to listen in from you along with other students and non-students. We were liberal with the link and we've shared it with anyone who really could spare the time to join in on the meeting. Maybe a brief history about the career mentorship series. This is probably around the fifth series where we've been having guests like yourself who have been sharing their insights, and we do not take it for granted that they do find the time to inspire and share their stories with young people, with some of us could be peers, who knows, but really to set aside time and share insights regarding a given topic or theme for the day. And I speak on behalf of the students that have been part of this series for now, I think about 4 or 5 weeks, that we are truly grateful that you do find the time in your busy schedule to share with us and inspire us and guide us. And so without further ado, I will introduce Mr. Moses. I will, for the listeners, such that you may get a feel of who is going to be speaking to us today. Mr. Moses Rutahigwa is the head of wealth and retail banking at Standard Chartered Bank, Botswana. He has over 17 years of experience in the banking sector, 7 of which have been in an executive leadership position. He is mainly focused on business model transformation, change management, and digitalization. He moved to Botswana in August of 2023, which was last year, from Uganda. He holds a master's degree from Edinburgh Business School of Heriot-Watt University. He is a graduate of Mackenzie Academy Management Program and is an alumni of Strathmore Business Schools of CEO Apprenticeship Program. Outside banking, Moses is passionate about using his knowledge and expertise to help people discover meaning in life and to do better versions, to be better versions of themselves through teaching, mentorship, and supporting humanitarian causes. Mr. Moses Rutahigwa is a Rotarian, a Toastmaster, and an ardent ultra runner. And so, without saying more to that, I would like to it's an honor and privilege to welcome Mr. Moses to share with us for as long as he can. I do encourage the listeners to formulate questions and type them in a chat. Mr. Moses, we welcome you. Kindly unmute and share with us what you have for us today.
Thank you. Good morning. Please confirm that I'm audible and you can hear me from wherever you are joining in from.
Yes, you are audible. Excellent. And also we can see you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Richard, for that introduction. Sometimes when it's done, you ask yourself, am I the one? But it's a privilege to be here. Once again, as introduced, I am Moses Rutahigwa, joining in from Botswana. So here we greet Dumela. So it's good to be able to learn what we've gone through this morning in our careers and in our roles. We go through technical challenges, but most importantly, learning on how to work across diverse borders. So we able to connect across the different parts of this world because the world is now global, and happy to be here. I'm privileged to have been part of the CEO Apprenticeship Program, and when the alumni program came up with partnership with the university, I was privileged to be part of this session. And I chose a particular topic which I believe is more relevant to me that I'll be sharing with you today about testimonies of faith and life transformation. Somebody would ask, why would I choose such a subject to talk about this morning, and why is faith and life related? But I believe it speaks to who I am, and hopefully as part of this conversation, maybe 1 or 2 things may be able to impact somebody. You never know. Even one person who picks something from this conversation and runs with it, it will be seed well sown. So thank you so much, and it's a privilege to be here once again. A brief history about me. I was at university in 2003 to 2006. I studied under a university we used to call Money Under Brothers and Sisters, but I know for you know it as Makerere University Business School. That's how I used to call it when we were at campus. When I was at campus, I was quite active. I was in the scripture union, so I used to be very active in the scripture union. I was also part of the games union, and I was part of the I was a volleyball player by then. I'm now a runner, so I stopped doing volleyball. And I used also have some good time. Happened to be in my final year to be the head of the games union. So I was like the captain of all the captains. And I was in the electoral commission to elect on who becomes the guild. I remember in my year 2006, we made a very tough decision that until today I still remember because we had to disqualify a candidate who later on became a workmate later on. What an irony. Why am I sharing this with you? Because we are all at different levels of our career right now as I talk. Some of you could be either undergraduate or postgraduate, depending on what position you're at. So hopefully this conversation will be relevant to you. And I share from that perspective because a few years back I was there. When I left campus, I joined banking, and I I joined banking in 2006. By then, as a teller, grew from there, and before I joined teller in Nairobi Bank was bought by Barclays before I joined Standard Chartered Bank in 2009, and I have been there now. This year in December, I make 15 years in one organization. I've grown through very many places across the different levels, and privileged to be part of this conversation today. Why am I sharing this with you is because there's something which is different from my side. That when I was at university in my early year, I got some money when I was a student after in my vacation. First day at campus during a freshers ball, all the money I'd worked for in my holidays, we drank it in one night and finished it. And therefore I had no other money left to survive. I made a hard decision by that time to choose to change my life. And therefore, as a faith person, I chose to accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior in 2006, 2003. So in my first 3 years from there, it's now this year, I make 21 years in that journey. I became I left campus, served very active at campus, went into a leader at my church, and I was elevated to a pastor in 2008. So it has now been 16 years in that position. I bring this example because most times in our careers, we have a double-edged sword on what we pick. How do I bring my faith into my work? And how does faith help me be able to apply it in my today's work? How does faith connect with my career? How do I become a lawyer who is successful but still be a person? How do I grow? I am a married man, therefore it means I'm a father. I have 4 daughters and the fifth one whom I took on, and I thank God for all of them, and I thank God for all of them. I'm always passionate about that. I'm speaking these things with you because in all things I have done and I've gone through, it has been a balance across. And as we talk right now, all of us are balancing. The person listening to me right now is a child, is a daughter, is a friend to somebody, and is learning how to balance that side alongside their faith and developing a career. And please know, this is any career. You could be an engineer, you could be a lawyer, you could be a data scientist. Whatever position you're in, there's an element of faith and life that you have got to balance as you go through. And sometimes we drop one of the two. Sometimes we choose to either focus on one other area. I grew up to learn something in my career, and I just allow me use the scripture if you don't mind. John 15, around verse 5 to verse 8, Jesus said that I am the vine and you are the branches. He who abides in me and I abide in him bears much fruit. The word is bears much fruit, which means that they go out in the world, they multiply, they make a difference, they impact careers, they go and change lives wherever they are. As long as you abide in me and I abide in you, you bear much fruit, which means you go out and impact and expand and do things. There must be fruitfulness linked to your faith as you go in life, which means life and faith cannot be separated. So in my career, I have learned to grow and learn a few things over the last several years that how faith and life cannot be separated because we are one thing. So the discussion we have today will be largely about what aspects of my faith are critical, are found useful for me, and how could this be relevant to somebody who is here, who's wondering how I should be able to balance How do I bring myself, my best self, into my workplace, into my life, and be able to balance? There's a book of a man called, a book I got in contact with a few years ago called Economics. And this book is not very common. You don't find it much. But these principles are available, are the same principles that have been available across. They are called the 5 capitals. Anyone who has heard about the 5 capitals, you can just either respond by a thumbs up if you've heard about the 5 capitals. There could be different capitals that you've heard about. If you've heard about, you can either put a thumbs up or confirm if you've heard about them. All of us have capital. You go to the bank, I'm in the bank, customers come to us and they say, I need capital to run my business. I need money to run my business. I even need what they call working capital, which means that I have a business, but I don't have money to run day-to-day life, which means day-to-day business, which is called working capital. And all of us have capital, and there are 5 in life. The 5 capitals are very critical, and all of us do live these 5 capitals. The first capital is spiritual capital, which means that everybody, wherever you are, you're a spiritual being, your relationship with your creator, whichever God you believe is important. I'm speaking cognizant that we're in a dynamic world, so people could be having different kinds of faith, but all across, anywhere you are, that capital, the spiritual capital, is a very fundamental part of your life. You cannot take it out. You cannot choose to suppress it. You must be able to sweeten it and be able to live with it. Capital is called spiritual capital. The second part is relational capital, which means you're a friend, you're a daughter, you're a father, you're a mother. That relational capital is important, which means that you have to bring your friends, your family, and put them at forefront. The third capital is physical capital. Your well-being, your health is very important. In whatever you do, being able to find the right balance between your health and your wellness becomes critical. The fourth capital is intellectual capital, the ability to be able to add on knowledge, impact. All of us are here right now because we are looking for ideas on how can we transform Uganda? How can we make this world a better place? We have so many questions that we're trying to answer in our time. And these questions can't be answered in one go. We answer them in different fronts, different formats. But that's what we should also be doing, looking for ideas on how best you can impact, you can change, you can transform. So that form of capital is critical. So that capital is critical because it finances everything you add into ideas. You go and read books. We spend knowledge to search for knowledge. You are here to university, search for knowledge. And the fifth capital is financial capital. Money is important. Money brings freedom. Money helps us when things are tough. Most times, if you think being rich is bad, you try poverty. You understand which of the two is better, because being poor is a danger. So most times we don't like to talk about it, but definitely being poor is tough, because even sometimes the Bible is very clear that that wealth attracts, but even the friend of a poor man abandons him. No one wants to be next to a poor person. But please note of the order. The order is critical. It is spiritual, if you can confirm, spiritual. It is relational. It is physical. It is intellectual, and then goes to financial, which means the order is very important in everything you do. So let me give you a scenario. You'll find somebody who has a very great career, has done very well in their career. But guess what? The family is crumbling. There's no marriage, no relationship. Children are everywhere. You find somebody who has all the money, but then didn't take care of their health. And suddenly they're spending time on either dialysis and trying to be able to survive. Not to mention that, not saying that all diseases are caused by anything, but taking care of your health is important. Sleeping late and not resting enough is critical for your health. So money isn't necessarily the solution to everything in life. You have to be able to bring it up. Then you find somebody who has all the money, but then did not go to school. Why? So sometimes that's why part of the challenges we have today, when money lands into wrong hands that don't have knowledge, suddenly we have a problem. Some of the societies in our country are caused by resources in wrong hands. And it's surprising. Sometimes some of the people who are rich don't necessarily have the right the qualifications we have, as who are on this call, some of us. Why money should be a combination of money and knowledge is powerful. Anyone who understands money, who understands how to use it well, we understand how to be composed in the face of money, we understand how to stay focused and calm, we understand how to take a little, not to steal public funds, we'll do many things. Also, education is very important and critical. And anyone who has achieved the right knowledge, pre-nursing education is the only source of knowledge. Knowledge is very important. The final one I would like to add on is you find somebody who has all the money, but then you find they don't go to church, they don't go to the mosque, they have no relationship with their God. That combination is lacking. So the 5 capitals mean that all of us, wherever we are, how would we best bring our faith and life and be able to apply it becomes critical. So in my career, I've learned 5 things that I felt, 5 things that I felt would have been very important, that have shaped me, that I have learned from my faith, that have helped me shape me to become who I am. Now, the first one is honor. Honor is a critical thing in life. Honor is an element which is how order is put up in an institution. All of us know if you enter a mosque, there's a requirement, you must remove your shoes. Why? To stay in that environment, you must remove your shoes and enter a mosque. Every environment you go to, there is a way of entering and staying in it. You have to honor and respect the order of that environment. If you go to China and Japan, bowing your heads to respect an elder is critical. If you go to Nigeria and you call somebody, I'm calling you Richard, that would be wrong. You have to call me Sir Richard, Sir. You have to include the title because the environment recognizes authority, recognizes leadership, and recognizes, puts a little level of seniority. That's why you say we call him man of God. They are very honorable. That's what they do. So every environment you go to has a particular way of staying in it, entering and staying in it. So honor is very important. What mode do you respect? Do you enter somebody's office and you're just simply saying, I'm holding my waist and I'm okay? Or you go and there's a secretary, respect the secretary gives access. In fact, the person who determines who you access, the secretary could be the person who fires you or who brings in the office. Why? Honoring that office is very important. I want to always share some scripture references. The Bible says something in the book of John, chapter 12, verse 20 to 25. I want to just share some words. The Bible says, and certain Greeks among them came up to worship at the feast. And there came to Philip, which was Bethesda, and said, he wants to see Jesus. In verse 22, it says, Philip came and told Andrew, and Andrew and Philip went to Jesus. Please note, they come, they want to see Jesus. They come, they want to see Jesus. Jesus can't be accessed by everybody. Therefore, Philip picks Andrew, and Andrew and Philip go to Jesus, which means even Philip cannot come in alone. Why? They have to go as a group to say, sir, they're willing to see you. There is an arrangement that has been put up before you go anywhere. I have learned in life that in faith teaches us how to honor, respect the servants of God. It could be respect the bishop, respect the reverend, respect the servant of God. And that honor, when you give it that person, apply it in your workplace. I have been here, I've been in the career for the last 18 years, never quarreled with my boss any single day. I've had 15 bosses. I've had different ones, difficult ones, by the sometimes very tough ones. But being able to control yourself, remain composed, respect the office, even when you're angry, stay calm. Why? Because the environment that you're in requires you to respect the leader. No one ever fights their boss and wins. In our country, check in on whether our president that works with him. Never. Every leader surrounds themselves with people who believe in them across. Unfortunately, sometimes it's hard, but that's the truth. So the people who respect the authority, the chain, are the people serving the environment. So honor has been taught in my career and I have found it very important. I hope you can apply it. The second one is humility, because sometimes you're going to live in university and you'll be a lawyer and then you're top of the world. And I like these days the way you guys do it. Every time you're graduating, I like the passion, I like the desire, I like the hunger, I like the joy, and you've taken celebration of academic excellence to another level. In our days, the graduation was just a normal event, but these days, I am stepping into the world. I am getting into the world. I am stepping into another level, which is very good. But I found that being humble is very, very important. Being humble doesn't mean that you're weak or you have a low self-esteem. No. Doesn't mean that you are a low-raised person. No. It means that you simply recognize that there is value in others without diminishing your own value. So I don't have time to shout. When I am sometimes I'm annoyed. I always pick a word from President Museveni when he said, instead of dying with anger, I rather sleep. That has always said it's something I laugh at, but I think it's very important. All of us. How do you stay humble? Because you're going to leave the university, you're going to be at the top of the world, you're going to be far, you're going to have a first place. I have had a chance that one time I had 10 graduates who are reporting to me at my workplace, young, ambitious, that all come in and I was doing a transformation job. You come in, your world is so diverse, you have great dreams, great passion, great desire, powerful. I am so proud. Guess what? How do you stay humble to build a career? After finishing campus in 2006, I was training because a friend of mine was taking part to Iraq to do security. By then, Iraq and America were Americans were fighting in Iraq, and I got a chance to be trained. I went into Biringit. I was trained in Ruzira there. I became like a soldier, ready to go to Iraq. 1 month before going, Nile Bank called me for a job. Little money. The other guys are opening 3 times more. Ask myself, so do I go for money or do I go for a career? I chose to, and my first salary was 750,000. It was a lot of money by that time. But when I began removing a small bank loan, remove rent, removing everything, and by then I was accommodating around 10 campuses who had left campus and were in my house. Hey, it became a lot. It became very small to survive on. But I chose to simply say, do I choose career? Do I choose money? I chose career. And I look forward now, 18 years later, I'm proud that I made that decision. I would have gone that side, made money, come back, had some money in a few days, appear rich, but then maybe I wouldn't be here to talk to you today. Why? Humility. I don't say I'm the most humble person, no, not me, but I've learned that humility takes you far. So choose to begin small, progressive, keep going far, and you'll find it very important. I always, because I'm talking about faith, I always want to give you some scripture references. Many of you have heard about a woman called Ruth, who chose to first support her mother-in-law, which she did, and honored and respected her mother-in-law. And that's how she was able to gain access and found favor. Most times, if you do not take it, if you don't take that privilege that you have to sit under somebody, learn, grow, you may not be able to go far in your career. So please take some time and stay humble, stay calm. And I found even no matter how much degrees you get, how many positions you go to in life, you'll always remain a son, and you always remain a spouse, you always remain what? A friend to somebody. So please, in case you ever get rich, don't forget that one time a small young boy talked to you, young man talked to you when you're at campus. Because sometimes they meet me and don't step on me. I'm just taking this, of course, sometimes you never know how we'll grow in our careers. The third area I want to share with you is about freedom. I have found that faith gives you freedom. Freedom to be able to unleash your potential in ways no one can stop you. I talk about freedom because most times those who don't know who they are locked. They are locked and they don't unleash their value to the world. Most times what faith does, it gives you that recognition that you have a higher calling you're living for. There is a higher purpose to live for. And therefore that purpose drives in everything you do. You make a decision with the conscious mind. When you make mistakes, you go back and say, Father, I'm sorry. Let me go back and exercise myself. And most times people who don't know, don't value their faith, don't unleash their potential. And therefore the price, the world never puts any price on them. Many of you who are here, you'll find that in your careers, wherever you are, the more you elevate your faith and your God is blessing you, the more you discover that you're free to be able to do the things you do. I run long distances. This morning I ran 21 kilometers. I ran 80, 90. I don't mind. I am a free person. There's nothing blocking me. There's nothing blocking me. I try and shut I can exercise my freedom because I am a child of God. Whoever the Son sets free is free indeed. I am free. And all of us, freedom is very important. Whatever you do in life, always look for freedom. Freedom is very powerful. The Bible talks about something, a woman came with a small box. went into the room where the disciples were, broke this very precious box that had precious oil, and began her head to be able to rub this oil on the feet of Jesus. And then there was something that Judas Iscariot said. He said, wow, what a waste. Such an expensive perfume. It could have been sold for a year's wage and the money given to the poor. In fact, John chapter 12, verse 1 and 5 puts very clearly, he says, oh, such should have been sold for 300 pence, even puts a value. Please note, when the woman was walking in with the box, there was nothing mentioned about it. But when the box opened, people began to put a price. The moment you get out your gift and you're free to express yourself, people begin to put a price on you. Everybody pays you for value. That's it. And value cannot be hidden. I always love Ryan Holiday, is one of my best writers, and he writes so much. And one of his best books I read is called Courage is Calling. And he talks about something very powerful. Life happens in the open. Let me tell you, no matter how good a player trains in the training ground, he has to get on the pitch and play. No matter how much we try and practice and do everything, we must get on the pitch and play as much as possible. So I felt that was very critical. The final one is hard work, because I know time is fast, but I don't spend more time interaction. First one is hard work. Hard work, hard work. The good book talks about something which says that see a man diligent at his works. See a man who is powerful. See a man who is focused on his work. He says he will not stand before cheap, low rank, low profile men, people. Anyone who is diligent at their work, anyone who is putting in hard work is very key. Most times today's faith has been related to not working hard. Therefore, we all spend more time in prayer, spend more time in church, spend more time and ignore what? Work. Let me tell you, I've been a pastor for 15 years. Church members don't call me during work days. No. They know even a demon can wait to cast out in the evening, if that's the case. You know, by the interesting, even the devil knows what time you're busy. Never tax your people. Therefore, for 15 years, no one has called me, and said, by the way, program during the day. No. I know. You can call me in the morning, you can call me in the evening, maybe worst case scenario if there's an emergency during lunch break. However, Monday to Friday, get to work. Be hardworking. Be hardworking people. Pray, but be like what Nehemiah did was doing. One hand is praying, another one is what? Is working. Be able to ensure that you don't have your hands idle and saying that because I'm the faithful person of God, I'm going to get rich. That analogy sometimes doesn't work in today's world. So hard work has been critical for me in my career. I want to leave this open because I know there are many questions I may not have covered and have a conversation with you on what I've shared and what is coming through your mind. Back to you, Richard. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Moses, we appreciate you so much for your insights. We do have some questions in the chat. The first one was, how best can we plan for our futures, balancing both academic excellence and extracurricular activities that help us build soft skills and more enjoyable skills? And the second one was, what advice would you have for a desperate jobless graduate who is offered a job in a place that contradicts his or her faith? For example, a beer company, a tobacco company, or one that deals in illegal transactions.
Thank you. I will deal with the first one. And you raised something very key, balancing work and extracurricular activities. There is something in a workplace they call work-life balance. I'm trying to defy that analogy. It's not called work-life balance. I think it's called living. For many of you, could check my social media page, I believe in one thing, that you live only once. Enjoy every moment. Which means that even as I right now, as you are here right now, you're living, you're alive. And I have found this very important. Most times we think we are busy. Therefore, we are obsessed with our mind saying work is too much, I can't work. But let me take you through my cycle. I am in a very demanding job. I run a team of more than 300 people. Therefore, you don't miss having challenges. But every day, of course, Sunday is a bit secure. Every day, Monday to Friday, 4:30 a.m., I'm out of the house. I'm on the road by 5 a.m. with a group on Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday and Sunday, most likely. But normally Wednesday, Monday, and Friday, I go to the gym, which is nearby. I drive there. If you're in Uganda, it's not safe to be at that time sometimes, to be honest. But let me tell you, if during work days, for those who are in Kampala, the kids are on the road by 5:30, by 6. And therefore, every morning, at least around when I do a physical exercise, I'm in office by 8 o'clock. Normally the first person to arrive. When I was in Uganda, I would drive from home at 5:30. I had a chance to park at Serena by that time, be in the gym be on the road by 6 o'clock, run around Nakasero for 10 kilometers, finish at 7:15, I'll be in office. There are friends of mine who begin at 4:30, 4 a.m., who even begin earlier, and they do it every single day, no matter how it is. So which means it's very important to know that as long as you choose to do something, you create time for it. So here is my schedule. Mornings, early mornings are for exercise, prayer, and meditation. 4:30, wake up, pray for 10 minutes, dress up, go out, come back. Then from 8 to 5:36, it's work. And work is work. Therefore, I choose to simply enjoy everything I do. And then lunch times are normal for meeting stakeholders, and evening is family. Saturday, Sunday is to be church when I was in Uganda. Sunday was church. Saturday was family. That's when I take my children out. That's when I have time to meet my friends, take my wife or something, so that time is respected. I therefore means that I will cut out parties that were not planned for. I cut out unnecessary meetings that I don't have to be on wasting time sometimes. But I can go for a concert as long as I planned for it in time. So it means that varying your time is very, very important. So how best can you balance? I would say simply be yourself and put in checks and balances as much as possible. The second question is that about what can I work in a beer company? I think we need to begin asking ourselves. So when I joined my workplace, I had a challenge. And the challenge I had was I was very staunch born-again Christian. And by then I looked at everybody like a sinner. Many of you who know, you look at this one and say, this one's a sinner. Look at the Muslim, you don't be in the same team with the Muslim. Until God ministered to me about Jesus. Actually, Jesus never spent time with the people who are born again. He spent time with the sinners. He won them to him. He had a core team who were the disciples, but the rest of the people he met were the people who were tax collectors, who were thieves, who were what? That's what his spend time is, if you study him very carefully. So which means that when God began ministering to me to be able to look at everybody as a person of value, going back to my subject of humility, I have found it so liberating, which means that my team, if they have a team building, I'll go and sit with them. They will drink their beer. I will drink my water. I'll walk away. And they respect that. They know wherever I am, by 8:30, I will leave to be in home by 9 o'clock. And they respect that, which means I put balances. Now, it means that if BAT gave you a job, BAT is struggling for business. But let me look at you, BAT, for example, okay? There are some things they do which are very good. To be honest, they are impacting communities. I don't think everybody in that place actually drinks beer. You get it? So ask God to guide you and be able to use your wisdom. Personally, I'm very keen on where I choose where I work because I look at the company's values, because the company's values are very important for me to be able to drive my career. And so choose carefully based on your values. If a job is offered and it won't fit you, please let it pass. Others will come. It's not about survival, it's about being alive. Because living, being in a job which defies your values won't take you far. Therefore, can I work in a beer company? I will tell you, be honest, no, because imagine a man of God in a beer company, I can't do that. Is it a good organization? Do I respect them? Yes, we are partnering together and we enjoy the marathon. They are doing some good stuff. In the evening, we'll go after the marathon. I go back away and leave them to do their stuff. Everybody respecting this world. And one last thing I want at that point is that this world understands one system, it's called business. And anyone who understands business means that you focus on the core side of business and be able to do business, then leave the rest of the things to respect you and respect your values. So don't go to work in a tobacco company if you don't want, and you're going to talk about good smoking, when you smoking is bad. That will be something you have to turn down. So that when you're in a job, when you're free, to exercise yourself as much as possible. Thank you so much. You can pick another question. Richard, do I go ahead and pick?
Yes, please. The those in the chat, you can respond to any, or I can. Someone has mentioned that they are torn between their passion and dream career. Can one do both concurrently or develop one first, then the other second? The other person has asked that how does a current student redirect his or her his endeavors to his or her passion as they pursue school? And then there's another question that is simply, can a job be enjoyed?
Thank you. I think I'll begin with the one that talks about passion. And I like that because personally, right now, I'm a runner, very long runner. Therefore, I take some time to be able to, I run long distances. I run 80 kilometers, 90 kilometers on the road. And I do it whenever I have some, maybe once every 6 months. This year, we ran in comrades with a team from Uganda, one South Africa. I was with Kapshenga and then in South Africa. And it was good to be part of that. Why do I do it? That's my passion. That is when I'm on the road, I am alive. When I'm in a workplace, I take my workplace also not as a place that gives me money. So to your point, can a job be enjoyed? I take my workplace as a place for ministry, as a place for impacting lives. When I tell my team, we don't just come and give loans. No, we're helping people to build their homes, to be able to establish a better foundation. We're helping families to survive for the long term. And the stories you always hear and what we do are how we've enabled families to stand firm in the face of difficult challenges. And that's very important to ensure that everybody, whatever you do, look at your job as a chance where you've been given a privilege to make a difference. I mentor leaders at my workplace. I always am a person who is very, very positive because I believe in life. There's too much negativity. You look at in Uganda, we've had some tough times in Chitezi and a few of those. There's too much gloom, but who will bring the light in every place? You're told that you are the light of the world. And as long as you have shine the light, people will enjoy it and feel it. So please shine that light. So personally, I prefer to enjoy, to be able to use my place as a chance to be able to impact and enjoy life, and therefore driving my passion alongside that. So if your passion is music, it is very simple to be able to be music alongside your career. There's a young man who sang this song. I always, I don't know, he's the one who sang this song called Kachumbari. He sang it on my farewell, and a friend of mine called Natif Tony hosted us for a farewell at his home when I was in Uganda. And he sang a song. He's a pharmacist. Many people don't know that the person who sang Kachumbari is a pharmacist. You think he's a musician? No. He's a pharmacist, but also loves music. So after he's finished his pharmacy work, he goes to the studio and records. Simple. A combination of the two is possible. When I retire, I want to retire into music production in life because I believe I love music. I simply love music and the words behind it. I simply don't just take on any noise. I focus on the lyrics and I focus on the beats a lot more. That's my passion. Other people could be playing golf. Other people could be singing. Other people could be writing. My daughter is trying to learn how to write. And she was the best writer at school last time. Simply by getting time to do something you love, you make then your career enjoyable. So can one do both? Yes, you have to do both for some time. You need a job to give you some money to do things you love to do. To travel South Africa to run, I need money for air tickets. I need money for hotels. I need money to travel with people. Therefore, my job helps that give that money. But while at work, can I add some time, be able to do something I love to do, will be very important. Therefore, if you're a student, do you drop one of the two and along the way pick one? It's good to be able to balance for some time. When you leave, you need some skills. The skills I've gained in banking in the last 18 years can make me survive anywhere. If you told me I wanted to become an accountant and I left banking, but God told me stay here, and it's now been 18 years, I can say it's been a privilege. And the skills I have learned here are very important. So most times we see, especially in today's entrepreneurial world, everyone wants to go into entrepreneurship and drop career. But many of the people you see in the current entrepreneurial world first began either as career people, in the former workplace, and then diverted. They needed some experience to be under the authority of somebody, be mentored, be coached. After they got those skills, then they went out and they're impacting outside in the world. So a combination of the two will be very important. So being torn between passion and a dream career, it's possible to do both. Simply as long as you are able to be disciplined, be able to do both of them. Along the way, one of the two take over. For many of you who know, most of the like these athletes, you do the Cheptegei's, the running is now their main career. But when Cheptegei comes back home, he's a farmer, he's a policeman. So along the way, many of you don't know he's a policeman. By the way, you never know until the police are organizing him. But actually, he's a policeman. But running has taken over his police work. So we don't even associate him with the police that always torments us every single day. Sometimes, of course, protecting us as they always do. So you can't associate him with that because running has taken over Cheptegei's life better than what? Better than police. So you will find that along the way, what you're known for, what your passion is, will then take over and becomes then who you're known for. Like right now, many people in Uganda know me as a runner, and very few know me as a banker. Along the way, and I don't want to be known as a banker because bankers are also seen in different ways. I want to be known as a person who is alive. I don't want to be known as a pastor, sometimes not, because people have connotations with pastors and some of the things that I do, I don't like them across. I just want to know me as somebody who is simply enjoying himself and living and alive and being able to connect with anybody, no matter who you are, your social status, your position, your religion, your race. I just want to connect with you, which I think is very key. So, so in my view, can you balance both? It's possible you can balance. You simply have to be disciplined time you allocate for each of them. There's a question asking on masters. I want to do it as hard as possible. Is it worth it? I would request if you can. Now we have different directions. When I finished campus in 2000 and I graduated in 2007. That's a whole different story as well. And maybe I should bring it up here. In my final year, I got distracted, got into a relationship, got active in sports, got into electoral commission, and I got a retake in my final year. I was on course to get a first class. In my final semester, I got a retake in tax. For those who are doing BCom, they understand. So I ended up graduating in 2007, which was a year later. So the bank gave me a job without inside having a degree, which I always, until today, I respect Richard Gaba. Richard Gaba, who hired me at a bank when I didn't have a degree. I respect him because he saw something more than by then maybe I wouldn't have justified my documents. So I always, until then, I still respect him. He didn't know me, just met a stranger and believed in them, which is very important. But I began doing my master's. I just finished my master's in 2021. So I took a bit longer. I wouldn't advise take longer, maybe 5 years in the workplace, stabilize, do something, then go to your master's. It's okay. For mothers, particularly for ladies, you live in a unique world. Therefore, sometimes going back to study later on becomes hard. If you can do it early, that's very good. If you can't, get into a relationship, but then be very clear that you're going to be a career woman. Therefore, you've got to also prioritize your education. So for mothers, I recommend them to do it earlier, as early as possible. So by the time you get into real serious family life, you have been able to add on those qualifications. Because from experience, I've seen mothers struggle to add on additional education after they have finished getting married, then they get into parenting and they get more engaged. Although there are others who have managed to balance, or from experience, I recommend that if you can do it early, you have a chance to do it, please. Is the master's worth it? It is worth it because at one time in your career, you will need it. And if possible, a professional course will be key. However, when I am hiring at my workplace, I don't look for masters. I don't look at degrees. In fact, in Standard Chartered Bank, our minimum requirement is a credit 6 in math and English, and preferably a degree. Those two things. Which means that the degree can be any degree, but math and English are very important. Why? We hire more for attitude, we hire more for skill, creativity, ability to learn, the softer skills which are not sometimes not displayed by your academic degrees. So there's somebody who asked about how do I learn about softer skills. It's very important to add on the softer skills because they help you to be able to be more employable than even your degree. So softer skills could include learning how to speak in public. This conversation here. Can you be able to hold a conversation for 1 hour? Can you hold after 2 minutes you can't speak anymore? It could be asking questions in meetings. It could be a town hall at school. It could be even within the guild. Can you put up your hand and ask a question? Or you're the one who always keeps quiet. It could be learning how to read, learning how to write, being able even to build a simple audience on social media, not built on nodes and not that. Simple, well-organized content that can be respected, therefore building peer public profile. So those soft skills are very, very important. And so for many of you here, you have a status on Twitter, you have a status on Instagram, or wherever it is on social media. Whatever you post on that social media platform speaks a lot about you, and it's enough. So the softer skills are very important. So alongside the diagnosis is very important. Please don't take away formal education, but please spend some time also harnessing the softer skills. And this conversation, hopefully, is one of the things that you learn, because softer skills are acquired from anywhere, in any format. And in any way. Thank you. I think I've finished many of them, unless there's anything I've missed out.
I don't think, unless there is a question, please, I encourage you to type it in the group. Our time is fast spent. We did start at 10:30, and we've only used 45 minutes total, but overstretched our limit by 15 minutes. I want to sincerely appreciate you, Mr. Moses, for these insights that you've shared. As you were speaking, I was going through your profile and your Twitter, and true to your word, your your page is littered with your passion, with your interests, a few quotes that speak to your ideological orientation and the values that you stand for. It is truly an honor to hear from you. We do thank you for finding the time all the way from Botswana to share with us and, in a sense, inspire us. On a one-on-one basis, I would want to continue this conversation when you are probably less busy, but I believe that is a sentiment that many people share here. But once again, I would like to appreciate you, and kindly when you're called on, please do make the time available. As a student leader, I will encourage as many students to take part in these sessions, because gold is found in the rarest of places, and it can be a Saturday morning like this, and you hear something that overturns your life 360. So I really want to appreciate you for finding the time to share with us your insights. And unless otherwise, I will allow Madam Pamela to probably wrap up the call if she has anything to say. But other than that, I want to appreciate everyone who has made it to this session. It has been recorded, and I have been reliably informed that it's available on the UCU YouTube channel for those that would want to review this content, or for those that would like to share it with those that couldn't make it for the session.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rutahigwa. This has been mind-blowing. I can't begin to explain how inspired I actually feel. And from the comments we are reading, I think you can see that this has been very inspirational. And I'm going to drop it on the YouTube channel of UCU and circulate it widely so that more people can listen to this. I think this is the ministry that we need. It's the kind of ministry that is in the marketplace, that actually informs your whole being. And these are the questions that our young people have. They are questions that I have even at my age. So I am so grateful. I'm glad. I don't know how to quantify the amount of gratitude that I feel towards you and CAP team for actually blessing us this much. People pay for this kind of thing, but we get it free of charge, and then you give us all the time, even exceed your own time, and you're across the borders. I mean, I can't begin to explain how, but I'm so grateful to you. Thank you for giving us. This has been a very good start. We start a semester next week, and those who have been privileged to listen to this, I'm sure this shows you like how to now start strategizing for your career, for the future, and for the life that God has in store for you. So I'm so grateful. And I would like to request you, please, would like to invite you again to speak to us. We have so many needs in this area, and I would like to engage you more. I pray that when I do, you accept, because God has put you in this space in such a time as this so that you can actually do this ministry to us. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Where I come from, I would give you a cow. You're in Botswana. I can't deliver it there, but I'm grateful. And may the Lord bless you. May the Lord bless you and bless you more. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Over to you, Richard.
Thank you. It's been a privilege. Where I am, Botswana has more cows than Uganda. Well, we have more cows than people. Thank you. It's a meat-eating country, by the way, for those who may not eat love meat one day, you're welcome. Happy to engage, and it's a privilege. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So other than that,
yeah.
yes, we can wrap it up. Everyone has made their parting shots. I do encourage all those that have attended this session to please also engage in the other sessions to come. Once again, Mr. Moses is available on the X platform, formerly known as Twitter. Do follow him. Do go through his profile. You will find gold in the rarest of places. And personally, Mr. Moses, I want to commit that I will reach out to you and we shall have a very extended conversation concerning some of the things that you have, because of time constraints, skimmed on the surface. Once again, I thank you so much for finding the time to share with us on behalf of the Guild government and the students at UCU. We bless the Lord for you, and we ask that He keeps and enlightens you more in your career and your endeavors. Thank you so much. And I think at this juncture, the meeting and session can be termed as closed, and feel free to leave.